Pushing yourself to the max with every workout might seem like the way to get stronger and faster, but it can actually be holding you back. I've been training since a very young age. I grew up playing sports, and with that meant a lot of high intensity conditioning. So, because of this, I always assumed my endurance capacity would be much more developed than others who didn't train as much. That is until I got into hunting. I didn't grow up hunting or even in the outdoors, really. But this is something that I got into when I was 19 and mostly through watching YouTube videos. And I quickly became addicted to it. And when I first got into hunting, I was stationed at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, which is down near the southern border and surrounded by high desert and mountains. And every chance we got, my best friend and I, Jake, would spend all weekend hunting and walking from one hill to the next. After doing this several times, I started to notice that I was significantly more drained by the end of the day than he was, even though we were eating the same foods and drinking plenty of water throughout the day. And I knew while he was in good shape, he didn't train quite as much as me. So what was the difference? Well, he grew up in the outdoors, and while he may not have spent as much time in the gym or doing sprints from sideline to sideline on a football field, he spent a ton of time doing low intensity, long duration activities such as hunting. And from a physiological standpoint, this meant his ability to use fat as a fuel source was much more developed than mine, even though I could perform better at those higher intensities. And because up to that point, I had spent very little time doing low intensity conditioning, my body was used to using glycogen or carbs as a fuel source even at those lower intensities. So what was happening is by the end of the day, while he was primarily burning fat as a fuel source, I was burning more glycogen, which left me feeling zapped towards the end of the day. For reference, our bodies can store up to 100,000 calories worth of fat, depending on the person, obviously, but only 2,000 calories worth of glycogen. So becoming more fat adapted and improving our aerobic base opens up the ability to perform at those lower intensities for much longer. Back in the 1980s, there was a doctor named Phil Maffetone who coined the term aerobic deficiency syndrome, or ADS. Now, while the term syndrome is a bit misleading since it leads people to believe that there is something wrong with them, this just refers to a condition where an individual's aerobic system is underdeveloped due to a disproportionate focus on high intensity anaerobic exercise without enough low intensity aerobic training. As a result, the body struggles to efficiently use oxygen to produce energy at low to moderate intensities, leading to various performance issues, including poor endurance, like my case, slower recovery, and increased fatigue during prolonged activities. The good news is there is a simple fix. Spend more time training at those low to moderate intensities like zone 2. Now, you are probably already aware of what zone 2 training is, but it is simply when we conduct training where our heart rate is at 60 to 70% of our maximum heart rate. A good rule of thumb for this is take 220 minus your age, and this equals your rough maximum heart rate. Then just multiply this by 0.70, and that is the number you want to keep your heart rate under during these sessions. And I bring this up because oftentimes when we start training zone 2, even when I first started, we feel as if it isn't challenging enough or we're moving too slowly to get the benefits of the training. Even if you're someone who comes from a training background, you might be surprised at how slow your zone 2 pace is. But when you understand the goal of the training, which is to become more fat adapted, you understand that your pace does not matter, and it is something that will improve over time, which will have a great impact on your more high intensity training. Now, if you want more information on how to include this in your strength and conditioning plan, including a sample training week and much more, I built a free 21-day series that walks you through our exact training methodology and how to get the most out of the effort we put in. To get started, the link is down in the description. And if you really want to build that endurance capacity you're looking for, you just have to spend more time in that low to moderate intensity range, especially zone 2. So be patient with it. Don't freak out about your pace and just enjoy those long, easy sessions. Go get after it. I'll see you guys in the next video.